Look, here is the thing about getting older that most people just do not want to admit. We have been sold a lie for decades that once you hit the age of 60, it is all downhill from there. We are taught by society to expect the slow walk, the shaky balance, and that nagging feeling that our bodies are starting to slowly betray us day by day. But I have spent a lot of time looking into the actual science of aging, and what I found is going to surprise you. Your body is not actually designed to just give up. It is incredibly resilient, even in your 70s, 80s, and beyond. The human body is like a high-performance machine that only breaks down when it stops getting the right signals from the brain and the environment. Today, I want to talk to you about 5 specific movements that act like a total reset button for your physical health. These are not fancy gym routines or high-impact workouts that are going to leave you sore and exhausted for a week. These are simple, evidence-based movements you can do right in the comfort of your own living room. They are specifically designed to target the exact physiological areas that cause us to lose our independence as we age: our leg strength, our neurological balance, and our cardiovascular circulation. If you have been feeling a little less steady on your feet lately, or noticing that getting out of a car or a low sofa is not as easy as it used to be, this conversation is for you. We are talking about regaining your freedom, and it starts with understanding how to give your body the exact stimulus it craves. You know what surprised me the most when researching this? It is how quickly we can reverse the effects of a sedentary lifestyle. Many people believe that once muscle is gone, it is gone forever. But research shows that muscle protein synthesis, the way your body builds muscle, still works beautifully in older adults. You just have to wake it up. Wait until you hear about the first movement, because it is often called the king of all exercises for a reason. The first movement. The squat. I am talking about the squat. Now I know what you might be thinking. Squats sound like something for young athletes or bodybuilders, but in reality, you have been squatting your entire life every single time you sit down on a chair and stand back up. After age 60, our bodies deal with something called sarcopenia. This is just a fancy medical term for the natural loss of muscle mass, but it is not inevitable. Sarcopenia hits the legs first, and that is why steps start to feel steeper and short walks start to feel like marathons. When you perform a controlled squat, you are engaging your quadriceps, your glutes, your hamstrings, and even your lower back all at once. It is like a total body tune-up in one single movement. If you are worried about your knees or your back, here is what most people do not realize. You do not have to go all the way down to the floor. You can start by holding onto a sturdy kitchen table or a heavy chair for support. Just push your hips back like you are searching for a seat behind you, go down just a few inches, and come back up. As you get stronger, you will find you can go deeper. And if your knees really are not having it today, try the invisible chair against a wall. Just lean your back against a flat wall, slide down a bit, and hold it. This builds what we call isometric strength. It is pure muscle power without any joint friction or impact. Within just a few weeks of doing this consistently, you are going to notice that getting out of bed or off the sofa feels lighter. That is not magic. It is your muscles waking up and finally remembering what they were built to do. But strength is only half the battle, right? You could have the strongest legs in the world, but if your balance is off, you are still going to feel hesitant when you are out for a walk or crossing a busy street. This is where it gets really interesting from a scientific perspective. Balance is not just about your feet, it is actually a complex communication process between your eyes, your inner ear, and your nervous system. The second movement, the one-leg stand. Think of it like updating the software in your computer. As we age, that communication can get a little laggy. If you trip on a rug, a younger body's software sends a lightning-fast signal to the muscles to catch the fall before it happens. For many of us, that signal slows down over time. But here is the good news that the medical textbooks often skim over. You can train that system to be fast again at any age. One of the best ways to do this is the simple one-leg stand. It sounds almost too easy until you actually try to do it for more than 10 seconds. Stand near a wall for safety, lift one foot just an inch off the ground, and try to stay perfectly still. You will feel all those tiny muscles in your ankle and your hip firing like crazy. That is the sound of your brain remapping your stability. As you progress, try to reach 30 seconds, then a full minute. And if you want a real challenge that research shows can actually help protect your cognitive health, try doing it with your eyes closed. But please, keep a hand near that wall. When you take away your vision, your brain has to rely entirely on internal sensors called proprioceptors. Studies from prestigious institutions like Stanford have actually linked this kind of coordination training to better memory and mental clarity because it forces the brain to create new neural pathways. So, you are not just preventing a fall, you are literally keeping your brain young and sharp. Now, I want to tell you about something that almost everyone overlooks, but it might be the most important part of this whole health puzzle. Have you ever heard of the second heart? Most people have not, but doctors and physical therapists use this term to describe your calves. See, your heart is a magnificent pump, but it is mostly responsible for getting blood out to the extremities. It is great at pumping blood down to your toes, but it is fighting gravity to get that blood all the way back up from your feet to your chest. The third movement. The calf raise. Your calf muscles act as a mechanical pump for your venous system. Every time you flex those calves, they squeeze your veins and push that blood back toward your heart. If you spend a lot of time sitting down, watching television, reading, or on your computer, that pump stays turned off. That is when you get swelling, that heavy feeling in your legs, varicose veins, and a much higher risk of things like deep vein thrombosis or blood clots. This is serious stuff, but the fix is incredibly simple and costs $0. It is the calf raise. You can do this while you are waiting for your tea to steep or while you are brushing your teeth. Just stand up straight and lift your heels so you are standing on your tiptoes, then slowly lower back down. Do this 20 or 30 times. You will feel a little warmth or a tingle in your legs. That is the circulation finally kicking in. It is like flushing out a stagnant plumbing system. If you are someone who deals with cold feet or swollen ankles in the evening, this is going to be a total game changer for your quality of life. Because the heart never stops beating, your second heart needs daily attention too. It is the one exercise I tell everyone they should do every single day without fail. I get it. Sometimes life feels like it is pulling us down, both mentally and physically. This brings us to the fourth movement that I think is crucial for anyone over 60. The fourth movement, the hip raise. This is the hip raise, also known as the glute bridge. This one is done lying down, so it is actually quite relaxing to start, but do not let that fool you. Your hips are the bridge between your upper and lower body. When the muscles around your hips get weak, your posture starts to slump forward, your pelvis tilts, and your lower back has to take on all the stress of holding you up. That is where a lot of that chronic, annoying back pain comes from. By lying on your back on a firm surface, bending your knees, and lifting your hips toward the ceiling, you are waking up the glutes. These are the biggest muscles in your body. But in our modern world, we mostly just sit on them. When these muscles are strong, they act like a massive stabilizer for your entire spine. You will find yourself standing taller and walking with more drive and power in your step. It is that feeling of being solid and grounded. I have seen people go from shuffling their feet with short, uncertain steps to taking full, confident strides just by adding this one movement into their weekly routine. It is about building a foundation that can actually support the weight of your life and the activities you love. Wait, it gets even better. We have to talk about the final piece of the puzzle that ensures you can move in every direction safely. The fifth movement, the side leg raise. We have to talk about the side leg raise. This is the secret weapon for what I call lateral stability. Most of the movements we do in life are forward and backward. We walk forward, we sit down, we climb up stairs. But falls often happen because we have to move sideways or because we stumble to the side and cannot catch ourselves. The muscles on the outside of your hips, like the gluteus medius, are the ones that keep you from tipping over like a tree. They rarely get used in a normal day of sitting and walking. By simply standing and lifting your leg out to the side just a few inches, you are essentially bulletproofing your hips. It is such a small, unassuming movement, but the impact on your safety is massive. It keeps your pelvis level and prevents that wobble that can make walking feel insecure or dangerous. When you combine all 5 of these, the squat for raw power, the one-leg stand for neurological balance, the calf raise for life-saving circulation, the hip bridge for upright posture, and the side raise for lateral stability. You are not just exercising. You are building a physical shield. You are sending a loud and clear message to your body and your brain that you are not ready to slow down or give up your independence. Here is what most people do not realize about consistency. You do not have to be perfect, you just have to be present. I talk to so many people who feel overwhelmed by the idea of a workout. They think they need an hour of sweating and heavy lifting. But that is not what the research says for longevity. The research says that frequent, short bouts of movement are actually more effective for maintaining function than one long, exhausting session once a week. Think of these exercises like brushing your teeth. You do not brush your teeth for 2 hours on Sunday and expect to be fine for the rest of the week, right? You do it for 2 minutes every morning and night. Your muscles and your circulation work the same way. They need that pulse of activity to stay healthy. I want you to imagine how things could be just a few months from now if you start today. Picture yourself walking through a park or a grocery store with stable, confident steps. Imagine climbing a flight of stairs without having to stop halfway to catch your breath or rest your legs. Imagine the relief of waking up without that stiff, aching feeling in your lower back. That is not a pipe dream. It is the natural result of a body that is being moved the way it was designed to move. I also want to address the mental side of this, because it is just as important as the physical. When we lose our strength, we often lose our confidence. We stop going out as much. We stop saying yes to invitations because we are worried about the walk from the parking lot or whether there will be a place to sit down. That shrinking of your physical world leads to a shrinking of your social and emotional world. It can lead to isolation and a loss of joy. By doing these 5 simple movements, you are reclaiming your self-esteem. Every time you balance for 5 seconds longer than you did yesterday, you are proving to yourself that you are still capable of growth. That sense of mastery is a powerful antidepressant. It changes the way you carry yourself. It changes the way you look in the mirror. You start to see a person who is active and engaged, not someone who is just waiting for time to pass. Let's be honest, aging is inevitable, but how we age is largely up to us. We have more control than we have been led to believe. The medical community is finally starting to catch up to what many active seniors have known for years. That movement is the best medicine we have. It regulates your blood sugar. It lowers your blood pressure. It clears the fog out of your brain, and it keeps your bones dense and strong. And the best part is that it is never, ever too late to start. There are documented cases of people starting strength training in their 90s and seeing significant improvements in their walking speed and balance. If they can do it, you can do it too. You do not need a gym membership. You do not need expensive sneakers. You just need a few feet of space in your home and the decision that your health is worth 5 or 10 minutes of your day. So, here is my challenge to you. Do not just watch this and move on to the next video. I want you to pick just one of these movements right now. Maybe it is the calf raise because you are standing up anyway, or maybe it is the one-leg stand. Do it for just 30 seconds. Feel your muscles working. Feel your heart rate pick up just a tiny bit. That is the feeling of your body coming back online. Write down how you feel. Then, tomorrow, try 2 of the movements. By the end of the week, try to do all 5. You do not have to do them all at once. Spread them out throughout the day. Do your squats after breakfast. Do your balance work while the microwave is running. Do your calf raises during the evening news. This is how you build a lifestyle that supports longevity without it feeling like a chore. I have seen so many lives transformed by this simple shift in perspective. It is about moving away from the medical model of aging, where we just wait for something to break and then try to fix it, and moving toward a functional model, where we maintain our equipment so it never breaks in the first place. You are the mechanic of your own body. You have the tools now. You know exactly which muscles to target and why they matter. You understand the why behind the what, and for most people, that is the key to staying motivated. You aren't just doing a squat. You are preserving your ability to drive a car and walk into your favorite restaurant. You aren't just doing a calf raise. You are protecting your heart and your vascular system. I really hope this conversation has empowered you to take that first step. It is easy to feel like the best years are behind us, but I truly believe that the most meaningful years are the ones where we are wise enough to appreciate our health and strong enough to enjoy it. Your body is waiting for you to lead the way. It is ready to get stronger. It is ready to find its balance. It is ready to keep you moving through this beautiful life for a long, long time. If this information clicked for you and you want to keep diving into the real science of how to stay young, healthy, and vibrant, I would love for you to join our community. Hit that subscribe button because every single week, I am here breaking down the latest research into practical, no-nonsense steps that you can actually use. No miracle pills, no expensive equipment, just the truth about what works. Let's keep this momentum going and show the world what aging with strength really looks like. I will see you in the next one. I have highlighted the 5 movements as requested. Would you like me to add a specific medical disclaimer at the beginning of the script to ensure it meets YouTube's health content guidelines?